Hey guys, Dane from Scoggin-Dickey. It's Thursday morning, nobody's here just yet, so I'm going to try and capitalize on that by talking about this car that's in our booth. So this 55 Bel Air is a build by Mike Goldman Customs, so we're thankful for him loaning the car. He's been in and out, taking care of it, making sure it's still looking pristine. This one is kind of special just because of the fact that this one is actually using the LT5. So for you guys that have paid attention, GM doesn't make the LT5 anymore. So that's kind of a hard to get engine overall. So this one is also running a 8-speed automatic transmission, and there's a few other really cool details that I'm going to go over. Okay, so they did talk about the paint scheme on this. The owner wanted to choose a green color that they used on some of the 80s model two-tone Chevy pickups. And so that's pretty neat. It's got kind of a cream white, this really nice, beautiful green. All the chrome. Everything's very beautiful and polished. I'm going to lift the hood here. It does not really take a whole lot to be able to lift this hood. I mean, it's freaking effortless. So those hinges there are really nice. So also they matched everything on this surround around the blower lid, and of course you see the hallowed LT5. Your Willwood brake system right here with the proportioning valve. And then the way that they routed the intake is neat. It's all under this surround here, so you've got it there. Overall, this is just an extraordinarily clean build. Some of the stuff is a bit understated, but not saying it's plain. And then the really clean execution on the dry sump tank here. Of course, getting dry sump tanks, OEM dry sump tanks right now are kind of hard because GM doesn't really have anything other than the C8 Corvette using a dry sump, and that dry sump is attached to the front of the LT2. I'm not sure exactly where it is on the LT6. I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to it. So 4-color interior. Got the old neck breaker seats. Of course, I did say that this is an automatic. Everything about this car is just so clean and smooth. Everything opens and closes effortlessly, which, you know, should be pretty much par for the course. But yeah, also I like the carpet. Very classic. Something that you can't see right now because there's no power to the car, but I'll try and send Nick a picture of these on. These are actually lights. These are light strips, so when you pop the door open or whatever, these all come on. It looks really neat. It lights the entirety of this car on the inside. So very clean. I like it. The door shuts real nice and easy. I wish my Firebird's door shut that nice and quiet. So it rattles like a can full of screws, which it pretty much is. But yeah, this is so cool. I also like so this is running bare brakes, and you have your forged line wheels. Kind of a nice copper coat to it. Really deep dish in the back. This is running an Art Morrison chassis as well. And Mike said that his son did the custom fab work for the exhaust, and it's a travesty. I can't see it very good. Let me see if I can flip this camera over real quick to get a better view. But everything's tight. It's all tight up under here. That Art Morrison chassis really adds a lot more rigidity to the existing platform. So yeah, not a whole lot to see under here, but man, look at how clean and straight everything is. Right across from our booth is the ProCharger booth, and I'm gonna flip the camera, but I got a lot of stuff on display. Some beautiful cars here, as well as this nice piece of kit here. So new for SEMA is this intake manifold. So you guys have seen the LT system already before. They've had it in a variety of different layouts, including a massive like front drive crank driven supercharger setup that they had at PRI last year. This one, of course, has got their serpentine drive kit, but what's really cool is this intake. So this is a water to air intake manifold. Everything is really nice and compact. As far as I can tell, it's probably not much taller than the stock truck intake on the L8T. Yeah, that's right, L8T. And so this is actually an L8T that was supplied to them from us. So the fun thing about this is it's already plumbed for AN fittings. Also, they do say that it will clear an LT4 fuel system for those that want to stay DI. They will also be adding port injection provisions for these intakes for you guys that want to either supplement your fueling using a secondary port controller, or if you guys just want to completely delete the DI system and go directly to port, run it like a Gen 4 LS. So this is a nice piece of kit. It'll be cool to see the data on the IATs and everything else, but for you guys that are familiar with doing water to air intercoolers, especially on the intake manifold design, it kind of makes it a no-brainer. Makes it super compact. You don't have to do any additional piping as far as that's concerned, you know, running an air-to-air intercooler or anything else like that. But you know, you're going to have, of course, horsepower limitations. This one is at 1450 plus, but you know, we can always get creative. Okay, so right there I found another Hurricane swap car. So this is another one that was, I believe, part of the Roadkill Nights, and it's got a Hurricane in there. Yes, that was a Demon that they swapped a Hurricane into. So Demon platform, F8 green with the cool wrap on it, but it has the Hurricane Cat 3 crate as well as HPT twin turbos. It's a little bit of an upgrade. I don't know how much boost they were allowed to mess with.
No, it's that
Yeah. Pretty interesting little routing there.
No, it's a Hurricane.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's the first one.
So of course, just like on the Ram that I showed earlier, Motec ECU with the interface for that. You got all your tile wastegates, all that fun stuff. So of course, like I had said, this was a Demon. Got your AEM dash over here. This one is completely stripped out on the roof, no headline or anything. The wrap is pretty cool. I think it's neat. It's a little bit different. So this is, I guess, Motor City matte. Carbon fiber spoiler on there. But yeah, pretty straightforward to consider whenever it comes down to the Hurricane swaps. It's just kind of interesting to see this one with a different routing for the turbos. We've got some working relationship with the guys at HPT on the turbos because we've actually got eventually we might be able to get our 4.3 on the dyno, and it has mirror image turbos, so which is fun. But So what do you guys think about that? Keep the Hurricane in it, or put something else back? So behind me is the last one from the Ringbrothers set that I was going to do the coverage on. This is Invader. Now of course you guys know me, I'm a V6 nut, and this is a Grand National that still keeps a V6. And boy does it keep the V6. So once again on a Roadster Shop chassis. This thing is freaking wild. C601 brakes, HRE wheels, Kenny Duttweiler V6 twin turbo, 6-speed manual transmission, over 1,200 horsepower, 1,000 pound-feet of torque, and this has got to be an absolute riot. Growing gears with that V6 coming in to boost. Absolutely immaculate interior. Carbon fiber details. You know, just all the everything else that the Ringbrothers does. They don't half-ass it, that's for sure. Split spoiler. Classic kind of charcoal and light gray, not white, but gray interior. Carbon fiber accents everywhere. Still got the old school style HVAC. Carbon fiber mirrors. This one has actually got an active mirror. It's like the 2-stage, like what you have with your GM vehicles. So you got a regular mirror or a camera. Carbon fiber heat extractor. Just massive heat shields everywhere.
2,000 horsepower.
Got your filter cover. Everything else. It's beautiful. Okay, so we're in the kicker booth, and this is quite the looker. Talking about the car, not the guy in the suit. So this is a 72 Camaro, Chevrolet Performance LT4 in the engine bay. This car is named Slammer. I like how they tied the styling from the blower lid into the intake. So this is on 18-inch forge lines, Willwood brakes, of course. Little carbon fiber accents everywhere. This is a hard top as well. And two-tone black and brown interior. And of course, since this is in the kicker booth, it's got a ton of stuff in here from Kicker. It smells so fresh. Corbo seats with harness. Little bits of carbon accents everywhere. Nice deep rear dish wheels. Got a rear enclosure in the trunk. This is all on a ride touch suspension as well. Pretty clean Pro Touring build, street rod. It's got a 4L80 transmission as well, I think from Bowler. So, pretty much a point and shoot car. Pretty clean. So that's in Kicker. I've got some more cars to cover elsewhere in the show. So stop back for some more coverage as I get it. Okay, so for some of you guys that like a little bit of the drift segment, over my shoulder in the Race Winning Brands booth, that is Mad Mike Whittett's P1 GTR. And it's not McLaren powered. It's actually got something that's par for the course with Mad Mike. It's got a rotary. It's got a 20B. It's a 3-rotor. I think twin turbocharged. Look at how absolutely freaking wide this thing is. I don't have a banana for scale, but it's freaking wide. I love, because I mean, they're wide to begin with, and then you got additional flair to it. Like the footprint on this thing is just absolutely insane. I don't know what they have to go through just to transport it. So you've got your air jack attachments. So all you have to do is, if you guys have never seen this, you take an air hose and you pop that down into it, and it raises the car up on air jacks that are actually built into the cage, and it lifts it up off the ground. Some classes actually allow that. There's other classes, like if you're doing some drift or anything else like that, they're not allowed to have a system like that. But you know, building to rules, or like this one, no rules, just having fun. So, Run 20B sticker. Lot of beautiful fab work on this. So you've got, there's just a lot to digest on this one. So look at the way that the turbo is fed. Twin filters, all into a Garrett turbo here. Just beautiful. Wastegates. He's already put a lot of heat into the tailpipes, which should be expected. There's that little 20B. Makes a absolute crap load of noise and horsepower. So, and check this out. This is a water to air intercooler stack. Completely billet. Like, yes. Plasma Man clamps all over the place. Those are going to be what you call Van Gen clamps, or whatever. They're usually double O-ring to seal any charge piping. So pretty cool. And then my favorite, Deutsch connectors. You open a box of those in a shop, I can smell it clear across the shop, and it's like it's wiring time. So whole lot of complexity in the suspension. A lot of that is baked in already, but billet control arms, fully adjustable coilovers, not a whole lot of spring there, but this isn't going to be doing a whole lot of regular street type use or whatever. Full carbon wing, really cool. Run rotary. Very neat. There's the interior. All of that. And you got the rotiform turbofan wheels on the front. Figure this will probably end up in a Hot Wheels packet at some point in time. But yeah, that's Mad Mac by Mad Mike. I'm going to move over to another drift car, and we'll put these together in a segment. So here we go. Okay, so number 2 drift car. This one is pretty cool, and it's very unique because of the fact that, as you can see, that's a C8 Corvette. Drifting a C8 Corvette, that's I mean, you could say that's unique, ballsy, brave, phenomenal is what I say, because that's also running a sequential transmission. So they got rid of the DCT. There's really not a whole lot of the original car left, other than, you know, the chassis and whatnot. But Matt Field has done a full build series on this on YouTube, and some of us back at work have just kind of been gaga over it, just because of the fact that it's been very in-depth. So you've probably seen Matt Field's, you know, Borla Corvettes before. This one is pretty nice. Of course, no, that's not broken. It's a drift car. You gotta have the angle, and a lot of angle. Look at how much steering angle they're able to get with this. I'll go to the other side because they've got the wheel off, and so you can see a lot more of it, but absolutely crazy. So They've added a lot of cooling capacity up front, even though they've gotten rid of the DCT and everything else. You've got your electric power steering reservoir there. They do have nitrous. You have your fuel safe fuel filler here, so that's really nice. It's all vertical, really easy to access, and easy for the guys to take care of it in the pits. Big old healthy splitter, very aggressive look on this car all the way around. So yeah, so here's the front suspension on this side without the wheel. You got your massive wheelwood brakes. I'm gonna kind of fisheye this a little bit because it will make it a little bit easier to see some of the stuff. So fully adjustable coilovers. It's got the little helper spring on it. And gotta have it gold here for SEMA though. Very, very clean design all the way around. Looks like solid spherical bushings for the control arms, so you get rid of all that play and compliance and whatnot from your control arms. You get a lot more direct feel. This thing is wide. Also, look at that. Vents out the side. And you got your side skirt all the way down. America. Got everything here. Your AIM dash, full. So AIM gauge cluster here that you can see, and carbon fiber dash. That's sick. So he also had to do his own cage. Look at the door kickouts over here. So you've got a lot of room. You don't have anything encroaching close to the driver or passenger. So, which is great. You are drifting usually with somebody else next to you on track. So you want to be able to have that so there's no encroachment. Because, you know, like with drag racing bars, they go from like right here, right down past your elbow. And so if you're wheeling, you're hitting your elbow on that thing all the time. Not so optimal.
Oh, yeah.
So another cool detail that I really like on this, other than full carbon fiber doors, you can see there's a lot of carbon fiber on this. Carbon fiber is this. Okay, so you guys recognize this. This is the emergency release. It's usually down on the floor. At the speed shop that I worked at before, we retained this on the car, but it had windows and everything else. Since this is a drift car, no windows. So you can easily access this and not have to do anything like make sure that all the electronics work or whatnot, because as you probably expect, since this is a Global B architecture car, you're not going to be able to run really any of the modules whatsoever that were on the car, because everything's encrypted and it doesn't like to play nice with other things, and it thinks it's the only thing in the world. So you start adding other modules and it freaks out, or other things. So carbon fiber engine cover, as well as this, it's an actual working scoop. So with the rear all closed up and whatnot, air is going to go over this and right over this into the engine, which is also another neat detail. So I'm going to get to that right now, but maybe first, maybe not. Look at how wide this thing is. Okay, it might not be as wide as the Mad Mac, but it's still wide. Got a full diffuser. Got your dual Borla tips. And then look at that freaking engine. Okay. So this filter is extraordinarily popular in the drift area. Like, you'll see this in the drift segment a lot. I've actually started to see this in time attack cars, for naturally aspirated cars. So you'll start seeing this more and more and more. But you got a whole lot of filter area, not a whole lot of pressure loss, going from this side to the inside of the filter, which is cool. It would be interesting to see how this works with that top sealed off versus not on the dyno. But either which way, as I said, the air feeds through that scoop. You see the light on the other side, down into this, and it's got dual throttle bodies right there into this billet intake plenum into that engine. That is a Concept Performance LSR, and that has, if you look at it, the valve covers on that are super wide. It doesn't look like an LS, but it is. It's not, I mean, it looks almost like a big block, and there's a reason behind that. This is actually a CID canted valve head. I can't remember the actual term or name that they gave to it, but it's a canted valve setup, and so this thing can absolutely spin some stupid RPM. It's wild. So yeah, there's video of this thing already on the engine dyno, and it's screaming, and it's mean, and it makes really cool noises. And this should make some even better noise going through this custom 8-to-1 header system. Like, freaking A, man. Look at this. It's a stovepipe. There's one of the guys from Chevrolet Performance that said, it's like they used a sewer pipe. It's so big. So 8-to-1 dual out, and then a Weddell 5-speed sequential transmission. It's very, very clean all the way. And so yeah, like I had said, you know, GM complains, whatever, whenever somebody says, hey, why don't you do a manual transmission Corvette? And they say that, oh, well, we didn't want to cut a hole in the tunnel or make room for it. Well, they did it. We can do it. Got the little purge valve up top. Very clean, very cool. I'm ready to see it make some runs on the drift circuit. So we need more smoke. All right, off to the next car. Okay, behind me is the Ringbrothers Tuka. It's a K5 Blazer. This thing is actually really neat. It's got a lot of really cool, you know, little details in classic Ringbrothers fashion. So for the suspension, they're actually using front suspension. It's independent front suspension from what looks like, I believe they said it was a Toyota Tacoma. But in the engine bay, it's a Chevrolet Performance LS376 525 with a 4L60 4x4 transmission. All right, guys, so I'm over here at the 715 Motorworks booth, and they have some really cool cars set up. If you're wondering about what you want to do with a Connect and Cruise package, this will give you some opportunities to be able to you know, get some ideas. So this whole platform here is powered by an LS376. So that's your LS3. Comes in a few flavors. There we go. So you can do the LS376, and there's the 480 horse all the way up to the 525. And of course, as you would expect, paired to a T56 manual transmission. Very nice, clean interior. Cool throwback to a lot of vintage race cars. This has got a tubular frame chassis. Got your 4-to-1 headers out the back on both sides. So the other part that's really neat, this uses C6 Corvette uprights and bearings, so simple stuff to service and repair or whatever without anything too complex. The suspension is, I believe it's QA1 coilovers. These are on cantilever push rod suspension, so that's, you know, it makes it nice and compact. All that is really all nicely tucked up in there. This is a air scoop that actually runs fresh air down to the floorboard so your feet don't get hot while driving this thing. This is very much an enthusiast car. Go out for a fun Sunday drive. Have an absolute blast with it. And you can see the difference in the interior on this one. You got all that nice brown leather, the riveted aluminum, giving it a little bit more of an aircraft style. Vintage roadster, white shifter ball, plus the dual stopwatches for rally purposes. Very, very cool. Just neat little touches, cool details. So this is the Indy Special. So it has the, IndyCar style, the vintage IndyCar style rear end. They also have a Roadster that is a little bit more squared off. They don't have that one here, but they do have them available to order. I think it's pretty neat. For you guys who are looking at something that maybe stands out a little bit differently from Exocet or anything else like that. This one's got power to spare, and then some. So for y'all that might want something that's like a little bit smaller, a little fun to chuck around the corners, but not so bad on consumables, because say if you've always had to run 345s in the back on your fun car or whatever, this one looks like it'd be a little bit different. So, but yeah, that's cool. 715 Motorworks. What do you guys think about that? What would you choose? The Indy Special or the Roadster? All right, so probably it's 4:36. Probably the last car to shoot for the day before I turn in and have to upload everything. This 1971 Cuda is a self-Osio design. It's freaking amazing all the way around. There's a ton of little details. I'm going to go around it, but really the main part is this is running a direct connection Elephant, so 1,000 horsepower supercharged Hemi. So the name of this one is called Barbaric, and Barbaric is probably proper because this is a barbaric amount of horsepower. I love the little details. Yellow lights, carbon fiber surround on the grille, also on the lower valence, hood pins, carbon fiber hood, almost pulled off a full Pentastar with the hood scoop there. Check out the block color. It's gold for your Dutch supervillains that love gold. But there's tons of just really nice satin, dry carbon fiber look all throughout the engine bay. Everything is really nicely tucked in. You got your catch can there. The hood hinges are all tucked away. Billet valve covers with Barbaric across there. The shaker scoop is neat. And then you got these massive wheels here. It's running a Detroit Speed chassis. Look at the roll hoop in the back, all color matched as well. Rear seat delete gives you a little bit of a demon vibe there. Beautiful steering wheel, carbon fiber, all that satin carbon fiber just tying everything together with the dash. And thank goodness this is a manual transmission car. So if you know me, I'm always a stickler for manual transmission stuff. The Barracuda logo there and the horn button, and the beautiful pedals down there as well. Kind of almost a coffee color on the interior. This color here, it's actually, the lighting is very true to color on this in this booth from the way that it looks on the camera. I like it. I like it a lot. Also, going back around here, more satin carbon fiber. And then check this out. The bumper guards are not bumper guards anymore. Those are the tailpipes. So kind of a fishtail style exhaust pipe right there on both ends. That's got to sound absolutely bonkers. I love it. Everything is just super duper clean, tidy lines. Like it just blends. The roof rail there, all the way across. Super, super clean. Got your fender vents, carbon fiber mirror, carbon fiber inset for the pistol grip shifter. I like it. I wouldn't kick it out of my garage. I'd probably get kicked out of the house if that showed up in my garage, but hey. Okay, so I lied. This is the last car for the day. The show just ended. Twin turbo, LS swap, 1,000 horsepower, and all-wheel drive. So the builders, they had a friend who had a dream of being able to do something like this, and unfortunately he passed away. So to do some, justice and in his memory, they did this build. Twin turbos, mirror image. Got carbon PTR intake. Semicolon is the name. It's got SSBC brakes. This satin purple wrap carries over into the interior. Got your Motion Raceworks shifter there for our friend Doug. So pretty cool build all the way around. It's really neat the fact that they managed to do this conversion and use a TBSS all-wheel drive setup. So that's pretty neat. What would you end up doing with an all-wheel drive F-body? They plan on maybe doing something similar to the all-wheel drive Cutlass route. Chain it up, do some all-wheel drive burnouts. We approve. It's pretty cool. Keep an eye on whatever channel you're on: Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I try to cover it in various formats for whatever you guys like to digest during the day. So stay tuned. We'll see you guys in the next video.